NIRNAY IAS by officers for future officers.
So you have prepared for many weeks, many months, perhaps many years to get to this point. The UPSC Prelims is here. There are only a few hours now remaining. This video is for those students, everybody who's preparing for UPSC Prelims, appearing for it, for all my students. This is an SOS type video to help you avoid catastrophes, because sometimes catastrophes happen, sometimes panic attacks happen, sometimes some events can disrupt an attempt, and those should be prepared for and avoided in the bare minimum amount of time possible. So this very short, to the point video is designed to do precisely that, to avoid catastrophes, to avoid big mistakes that can happen during this time. I'll go straight into it. I'll cover it in 4 sections. Everything I tell you, the entire checklist, I have also inserted in a PDF that can be downloaded and used in the final few hours. I'm very sure that to some extent they should help, but I will put this out there and you be the judge of it. The first things that we need to admit, first things first, the psychology of the final hours. You need to accept some things right now. You need to accept that you can't do everything. You need to accept that right now calmness and confidence is what you need. You need to accept that you can't prepare anymore. You need to accept that the syllabus cannot be finished, not for this exam. You don't need to know everything. You need to avoid blunders. You need to realize that this is where most people will self-sabotage. They will panic, they will overload, they will behave like typical type A personalities chasing a deadline. This is not a deadline. This is an exam. This is not about completion. A deadline is about completion. This is about accuracy. This is about using what you know. This is not going to be about recall. This is going to be about recognition. Just keep these points in mind. I'll leave a checklist for you, like I mentioned, that will tell you precisely what you need to do. Moving on to what you need to do and how your revision is going to look like, what you can use right now is a very simple framework, which is listed here. Revise only what is already familiar. I don't need to tell you. No new content is obvious. I've mentioned it before and everybody must have been telling you. Get straight to the things which are very likely to be forgotten, but which are so core, so basic, so important that missing them would be a blunder. And what are those things? Number one, what you need to do is some polity. They will definitely ask some polity. In most years they do, and it's just the backbone of the entire exam. Just the basics of polity you should know. I would actually recommend skimming through the syllabus, the index of Lakshmikant once, and flipping through the pages and looking at your notes, but not anything new. I would also look at geography maps right now. It will refresh my visual memory. I will take a look at where everything important is located in one map, but I do not want to look at multiple maps. I want to look at the basic map so that basics are clear. I know where the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer are passing through. I know where everything is overall. I know where the national parks are. I know where the ports are. I know where important defense infrastructure is, to the maximum extent that I can revise. I am not trying to recall or remember. I'm trying to revise here. Then what is worth revising at this point, which is very likely to be forgotten, is some basic structure of chronology of modern India and the important events of that time. Sometimes they will ask you to arrange events in a particular order. So you should know that. And I think that is a good ROI at this point to cover just the chronology. Don't go into the details. Don't go into too many names. Do not try to reread the entire book. Probably not going to happen. Reinforce the framework that you have about the chronology, about everything that happened, in what sequence it happened, why it happened. The overall conceptual framework will help, but it obviously will depend on the type of question that is asked, but let's not worry about that. Then you want to study some environment, particularly the important stuff about species and conventions, but not much more, because everything else, pretty much everything is dynamic. We're focusing only on that which is absolutely basic and that can help us not make that one or two mistakes that we shouldn't make. Then I would look at government schemes a little bit. For CSAT, I would do perhaps one paper, at least if I can. If not, fine. I'm assuming that you have done some things. And for sleep, at least 8 hours minimum. This has been repeated so many times that it doesn't need to be repeated again, but nonetheless, because it is so important, I'll say it. 8 hours of sleep is important. You need to treat your brain like an athlete treats his body. This is about mental performance. It's not about what you've done. You're not going to submit a report and be done with it. You are going to be asked to perform. Therefore, treat your brain like the organ that you will use in that race or in that battle, call it what you want, but you want it to be fresh, you want it to be healthy, you want it to be rested. What to absolutely avoid goes without saying. Don't need to repeat it, but again, we'll say it for the sake of clarity. No new sources at all. No Telegram rabbit holes. No cheat codes. No list. No new lists, please. No new fantastic hit lists or lists of current affairs or hot topics. Not anymore. You don't study past 9 p.m. the night before. Okay, you need to put a break on yourself. I know that it's hard to do, but you have to do this. You have to do this. It's not going to feel good. But maybe you can take relief in the fact that it is over, that the preparation is over, that you're almost done with it. Now, all you have to do is keep calm. There should be no last minute current affairs cramming. You can't cram current affairs. The ROI is obviously very low. If you know it, most people will know it. And if you don't know it, most people will not know it. If you're at that level, I don't think any more obsession with it is going to help. And definitely no obsessing over cutoffs or results. The mindset and the rituals, one mindset and actually philosophy, I should say, perhaps the operating system is right now we adopt stoicism. We adopt the idea that everything is going to be fine. That no matter what happens, no matter what life throws at you, you will be fine. You have been fine so far. A little bit of pride also, a little bit of self-respect, a little bit of self-love for having come this far would not be amiss at this time, because you've done something incredible. It's not easy to do. This is not everybody's cup of tea. Most people chicken out by this time. Most people will chicken out. The fact that you are here looking at this, worried about it, and actually, if you're thinking of using this, then you are on the right track. I think in life at least. I don't know about your UPSC preparation, but I think you are on the right track. You must be. You have to be, because only somebody a little bit crazy would put themselves through this type of an exam and this type of pressure, which I know all too well. Don't have to worry about it. It's fine. A few things that will help. Visualization will help. It will bring emotional closure. It will bring clarity. Imagine walking into that examination hall. Imagine sitting down calmly. Mimic that sensation. Let it happen. When you go there, you will find it is not too different, although it will definitely be a little bit different. But remember the state of your body that you're doing it. Keep your hydration, a little bit of light food on that day. Your travel checklist should be ready. That should include your admit card, your stationery, everything you're going to need, whether it will be whatever accessories you are taking into it, whatever makes you comfortable, that should be packed the night before. There should be no panic that day at all. And most importantly, you need to now stop scrolling. Stop scrolling. Put this to an end. It's over. And it is okay to accept it. Now, like I said, everything I mentioned has been put in that PDF, which you can use. I would highly recommend that you also do 5 to 10 minutes of meditation if you can. And finally, let me say something about avoiding a panic attack that can occur. If a panic attack occurs during exam or around that period of time, you need to take deep breaths. And when I say deep breaths, let me define that. A deep breath is only that type of breath that goes right inside the stomach. It can't stop at your lungs. It can't stop at the diaphragm. A deep breath is something that you allow your abdomen to expand and fill with air as you do with your chest. And if it is going all the way down, then it's a deep breath. And when you are in panic or when you are in the throes or in the grips of anxiety, it's not easy to take deep breaths. So you'll have to use voluntary muscle control to actually force that air in. But you need to do this. You need to do that, because that is the beginning of the feedback cycle. The more you inhale inside, the more it signals to your sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system that you can calm down, that this is not a life and death situation, that your body doesn't need to be in this state of alertness, and that the situation is ripe for some cognitive thinking, so that your prefrontal cortex, it can do its thing. That's what it is supposed to do. But it works only when there is sufficient blood flow there. And there won't be sufficient blood flow if you're panicking, because your body will automatically take blood flow from the prefrontal cortex and distribute it to the limbic system, which is where the foundational, evolutionary, basic, primal sources of survival, biological sources of survival, and the controls of survival in your brain are. So we don't want that. We do not want that. We want the opposite of that. We want alert calmness. We want no extra vigilance. We just want calmness. And we want, in order to do that, and if a panic attack occurs, a panic attack is essentially your body getting activated in a way, and your mind perceiving an existential threat, perceiving a threat to your survival, when there will be no such threat. And the only way, you can't talk yourself out of it, by the way, it doesn't work that way. And if you are in that situation, I have been in that situation, not in the exam, but a few times in my life, it's very uncomfortable. And I know that some of you are prone to it. No problem and no shame in accepting it. You need to force yourself to take deep breaths. That sends a feedback signal right all the way back to the cardiac system, to the nervous system, to calm down. As it calms down, the heart stops beating so fast, the body returns to normal. The deep breath actually reverses the whole process, and you will find yourself in a calm state of mind. That is what I wanted to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this video has been helpful, and it will prove to be more helpful as we go more and more closer to the prelims. Thank you very much. All the best to you. I'm proud of you for having come so far. It is not an easy task, and the journey, I am sure, would not have been easy. But whatever I can do in these final hours, I thought I should do. So I quickly and urgently got up and made this video. I hope that this is helpful. Thank you and all the best.